welcome to a little segment I like to call Bumps and Bends. Hey guys, here we go again. Bumps and Bends, thanks for watching, and make sure you click on that subscribe button down below. But let's have a look at the Zolder track. I love this track. I have lots of fond memories from Race Room, Project Cars 1, and also here in iRacing. There's been lots of great racing. Lots of tedious racing, but this is one of the classic tracks. One of probably in my top 5 list of all-time favorite tracks. There's a lot to it, a lot of bumps, and yeah, one handy tip is to jump into a practice session, have a look at the guys doing extremely low 24s, even a 23, jump in their cockpit view like this, and just check out how they're attacking the track. This is how I attack the track, and I hope it helps you. So let's have a look at the lap. Got down to a 24.7, pretty much 24.8, but that's almost my talent limit for the start of the week. Hopefully by the end I'll be in the low 24s. The best trick I'm learning off the competition is to get to those times relatively quick. I'm down to a low 25 on my first lap. So if you can do what the fast guys are doing in the 24s, you'll have no problems at all. Let's do this. So we really want to cut this corner in fourth, cut right across, get the throttle out. Throttle out is really important here, as early as possible. I really aim for that sausage on the right. You won't hit it. And really important not to hit the speed limiter here. Third gear, nice and calm through the chicane. Over the hill. Short shift to fifth down the hill. Down to second here. Really cut, aim for the sausages. Play with the wheel spin, short shift. Flat stick around this section. Downforce will really help you in this car this week. Hard on the brakes, down to second. As I said, lots of bumps here. And using roughly the bridge as a braking marker. Second. Managed to wheel spin again. And that is a 24.7. So I didn't find much in these guys. When I looked at their fast time, there's not a lot in it. You just got to learn how to carry as much speed as possible. So let's have a look at all the corners. I do love this track. So you really want to aim for the wall. But don't look at the wall. Focus on here. Just a slight tap of the brake, just to bring the car around. Use this concrete strip here as your apex, and try and get on that throttle as early as possible. The car will understeer, but make sure you don't go near that curb. It won't unsettle the car. You're just lengthening the circuit. And you can go to fifth here and then back to fourth, or you can just stretch out fourth. And you really want to just maintain as much apex speed here as possible. I've used the corner itself to just try and turn the car, but I'm on the throttle as early as possible, managing the understeer so that I don't go off circuit, and this is all just flat out. And then just try and loosen the steering as much as you can, and heading out wide. Now stay in fifth for this corner. And there's two markers here. There's this asphalt strip and there's this asphalt strip. When you first start this track, you'll find that that might be a good turning point, but the downforce will actually let this turn really hard right. So use this bit of asphalt to turn, and then aim for the ripple strip. This, sorry, the sausage, not the ripple strip. And the closer you are in that corner, the quicker you can get on the throttle early. It is an understeery setup, so you'll find if you're ending up on the sand will actually slow you down a bit. Another really important thing here is learn where your limiter is. Either have a shift light or just watch the shift lights in the car, but hitting the limiter will really affect your momentum down the straight here. So this would be your standard braking zone, but in the F3, you can pretty much jump on the anchors using the start of the red and white strip on the wall there as a reference point. And I'm actually quite early there. But what you want to do is have a nice, calm braking area. It's going to be hard in the race. You'll be against people that like to go fast in, slow out. But personally, I like slow in, fast out. And you're really trying to get on the throttle well before the chicane. So what I'm doing here is setting it up, and these bumps will really affect your throttle near the sand pit on the other side of the chicane. So just get a nice, steady, straight line. But these sausage curbs will throw the car around, and this one here will actually damage the car. It'll lift it right off the ground, and when you land, the stiff chassis will actually throw you to the right once it bounces. So going up here, stretch out fourth, but just before the bottom of the hill, short shift into fifth, and use the hill itself as like a free booster, but stay left to minimize the length of the circuit. And coming up to this chicane is really important because there's a long stretch of full throttle before it. So I'm braking quite early here. At first, I was trying to use the ripple strip as a reference point. You can, but it will throw you deep into the start of the chicane, and your focus needs to be over here. What I'm doing is nice and smooth into second without wiping off too much speed, and I'm trying to turn the car in early, once again using that understeer and trying to just miss the sausage. It is bumpy here, but you need to use the bumps to change the direction of the car. Once again, at this section, your rear tires are really spinning, so you need to manage the wheel spin in second. And once you can get to a point where it's almost changing direction, short shift into third and use the low revs to gain that traction back. And you can go pretty much full throttle, once again managing the understeer, and you can use a lot of that ripple strip. You want to go as tight on the inside as possible. Aim for the sausage once again, and here it is, flat out. Great circuit, old school. Wish more circuits were like this. Now coming up to this braking zone, you want to use that 100-meter board as your reference point. Change your brake bias a lot. It makes a big difference to the balance of the car. I'm down to a 55.8%, which is it's quite a bit away from standard. So down to second, keep the car as straight as possible during the braking section, but you really want to throw the car in, and your braking point will really determine where you can actually throw the car in. And there is a little evil bump on the ripple strip here. There's a bump halfway through. You need to try and find that turn-in point where you do hit the bump, but not excessively. So with practice, you'll find that point. So really cut it in. And just manage that understeer, and you're aiming for this section of the track. You can use all of this. Even a little bit of dirt won't slow your momentum, but you really need to look at this as a straight rather than a left and a right. Just straight line the whole lot. Now coming up to this straight, you've got 2 points of reference into the last chicane. You've got that 100-meter board and you've got the bridge as well. I'm trying to find a sweet spot that's a little bit closer to the bridge, but my focus once again is getting a nice smooth braking line to cut left at just the right moment to avoid the sausage on the start of the last chicane. Keep it nice and smooth, and then get to that point where you just want to throw the car. And there's a small bump here which will unsettle the car. Yeah, I've hit too much of the sausage there, but you want to go try and get the car across as far left as possible, not all the way left, just far left, so your change of direction and your cut angle on the last corner is as shallow as possible, and you'll get the best throttle out. But once again, you've got wheel spin here, so you really need to manage that wheel spin, find that sweet spot, and to get that extra 1 or 2 hundredths. I was watching the leaders, they go hard up against the wall, and that's the shortest part of the circuit, and that's a 24.797. Lastly, we'll have a look at the control line. Now, the safety car is going to come in here, and there's a really tight section in a big pack of cars, and there's going to be a lot of games played here again. Just be wary that the leader has control. And coming in here, too wide, you're going to find a lot of the leaders will actually play their games. They will slow right down, have that concertina effect within the pack to give themselves the best advantage. And you'll probably find that this is roughly where they're going to take off. If they take off anywhere along here, they will probably get jumped at the start, because shortly after this, you're going to get a green light. Well, I hope that helped, guys. I've been watching a lot of the leaders jump into their cockpit view in the replays and click on their fastest lap. Go to cockpit, wherever mine is, down the bottom. Cockpit, fastest lap, and yeah, just watch their gears, watch their angles, how hard they throw it. I've learned a lot from them. I hope you've learned from me. I'll see you next time. Bye.